September 18th, 2012, Village of Peoria Heights Board of Trustees meeting. Meeting is now called to order. Would you please rise and join us in the pledge of the flag? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn. Trustee Carter.
Present.
Trustee Fuller.
Present.
Trustee Reichert.
Present.
Trustee Gett.
Present.
Trustee Cumming.
Present.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Harn is on vacation. I believe he's not at the Raygon Motel in Creve Coeur, but we don't know for sure. Hopefully he's enjoying himself wherever he's at. First order of business tonight is the approval of the Board of Trustees minutes for the September 4th, 2012 meeting. Are there any changes that need to be made to the minutes as submitted?
I move to approve the minutes for the September 4th meeting.
I have a motion from Trustee Gett.
Second.
Second from Trustee Cumming. All those in favor of approving the Board of Trustees minutes for the September 4th, 2012 meeting as submitted, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it. The board has approved the minutes for the September 4th meeting. Next order of business tonight is the approval of the executive session minutes for August 21st, 2012. Need a motion for approval, please.
I move to approve the executive session minutes for August 21st, 2012.
I have a motion from Trustee Reichert.
Second.
Second from Trustee Fuller. All those in favor of approving the executive session minutes as submitted for August 21st, 2012, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it. The board has approved the executive session minutes for August 21st. Next order of business tonight is correspondence. Anything tonight?
No.
Okay, thank you. No announcements tonight, so we'll go right to trustee reports, and first will be the ambulance service with Trustee Fuller.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I have nothing to report this evening.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Harn is missing in action, so Mr. Superintendent, anything new to pass on?
I have two things tonight. One is the hydrant flushing will begin the week of October 8th, run through that full week. We'll have the schedules for at the later another board meeting. There is a schedule up on Jamie's window in the water office. The other thing, I'd like to thank our driving public and the public works crew for the weekend work at the crosswalks. We got them done and touched up. Hopefully they'll last for a couple years. That's it.
Yeah, they look great. I'm really pleased with the color, and the fact that we did it ourselves saved thousands of dollars, correct?
This is true. It's a lot of work, though. It's intense. You got to keep at it and dodge the cars.
But other than that, you had a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, any questions at all for Superintendent Roth?
I would like to interject. A lot of people don't understand that that has to sit for 24 hours before we can open the the traffic lane back up. So their patience, you got to have patience with that stuff. It's an epoxy coat like, so.
Nothing but a memory now.
Hopefully.
A couple years.
Now we got to stripe it. Trim it out in the white on the edges. That'll do it.
Okay. Well, it looks great. Looks really nice. Move now to administration personnel with Trustee Reichert.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing this evening.
Okay. Thank you. Go to economic development, village improvements with Trustee Carter.
Thank you. I have a couple announcements. The VFW is having a 2012 Veterans Fish Fry Saturday, October 6th from noon to 7. It's the VFW 2602. It's at 1505 East Lake Avenue. They're going to have fish, baked beans, potato salad, dessert. Adults is $9 and children is $5. So recommend people go there to help them out. And we also are having October 6th and 7th is our Chalk the Walk. Tower Park, there's 24 artists that have signed up, which is they've met their limit, and the majority of them have come from our high school, so it should be very good to see them. And but they did say that if they met their limits, but if somebody comes up with their own chalk, they will try to find them a place too, so they can draw also. And that's October 6th and 7th from Saturday, 10 a.m. on Saturday, and will end at 5 p.m. on Sunday. So
Okay.
those are the two announcements I have.
Thank you very much. Any questions at all for Trustee Carter? All right, thank you again. We'll move now to the Police Department with Trustee Cumming.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I just have my usual announcement that next Monday the 24th, will be our next Neighborhood Watch meeting at 6:30 right up here at Village Hall. I'd like to encourage all citizens to attend. If you have a police or code enforcement issue in your neighborhood, please come up and share it with us so we can look into it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions at all for Trustee Cumming?
I only have one comment I want to direct to Chief Sutton. I want to commend their men. We had a couple of incidents down in my neighborhood, and they were responded fairly quickly, and the people were apprehended, so it was a good job.
Great. Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you again. We'll go to Building Maintenance with Trustee Gett.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I have nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll close out with the Fire Department with Trustee Gett.
Pretty much the same thing. Nothing to report, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Move now to comments from the audience. So if anybody has a comment or a concern, please come up to the village lectern. Let us know where to find you. Well, thank you very much for attending tonight. No old business tonight, so we'll go to new business, and first up will be a JFL donation request, and that will be presented by Trustee Gett.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. You all have a copy of the letter from the Peoria Heights Junior Football League. They've have done something different. They've got an executive board, not just one or two people running it. In the audience, I have Mark Kennington, the new JFL director, and with him is Matt King. If you guys would want to come up to the podium, please. They have got something that they've never had before. They got 5 levels of JFL. We've always only had at most 4. For a couple years there, we only had 3, where we won't be only one team, but now we have 5 levels. And their first weekend, 3 of the 5 levels won, and they just told me that last weekend 4 of the 5 levels won. They're trying to go along with the high school, I guess. Matt King's also the athletic director at the high school. There are a few other things you've started also, right?
Oh, we've started a whole bunch of new stuff. On top of the executive board, we also have, I've appointed a flag director to kind of run, we have 2 flag teams on top of the 5 other teams we have. We have 2 flag teams as well. So I have a whole nother director running those 2 teams by himself. It's been a lot. We'll just say that.
Well, you also, in order to encourage more kids, you've lowered the price.
We lowered the price. How we got all the kids out, we lowered the price from $90 last year to $60 this year. And that brought in over about 85% of our players now are from the Heights. It brought in a lot of Heights kids this year, which allowed us to fill all the teams. So it was a big improvement, but it left a shortfall everywhere else. The JFL OCI takes $50 of that. So the $60 we take in, the JFL OCI takes $50, sorry.
We're also very excited. Coach Atkins and Coach Waz and Coach Gorman at the high school have been meeting with the coaches, going to practices, helping out with techniques. Some of the high school players have been there. So that's always kind of neat for the kids to see the guys they see on Friday there, working with them on different drills. And so it's been really good. We've got a lot of the community out there helping us. So anytime you guys want to stop by on a Saturday, Sunday, we have home games. It's kind of neat to watch the little guys out there and all the fans cheering them on. So
You had a real good turnout for your signups for during the Music Fest, didn't you?
The Music Fest was a surprise. We didn't expect to get as many up here as we did, but it was a welcome surprise.
So basically what we needed is just pretty much what we do every year is a $1,000 donation, if you guys have any questions for them. Otherwise, I make the motion that we approve a $1,000 donation to the JFL.
We have a motion from Trustee Gett.
Second.
Second from Trustee Cumming. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval of the annual $1,000 donation to the Peoria Heights JFL program. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Carter?
Aye.
Trustee Fuller?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Cumming?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. By a vote of 5-0, the board has approved the $1,000 donation to the Peoria Heights JFL program. And gentlemen, you're doing a great job, and keep up the great work. And I'm sure it's going to pay off huge dividends on every level, even far beyond the football program. You guys do a great job with the kids in this area, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, our next order of business tonight concerns a couple of sharply dressed men down there in the front. And at first I thought they were here to take me away, but they are here to be recognized for the service they have done. So I'm going to go to the lectern, and then I'm going to ask Assistant Fire Chief Leonard Jakowski to meet me there. I was just corrected. It's Deputy Chief? Yes. Okay. Deputy Chief Len Jakowski. I've had the pleasure of working with Len, not only with the fire department, but also with the Board of Trustees. He was a board member for 4 enjoyable years, right, Len?
Yes, I was.
Had a time of your life. But tonight we're recognizing Deputy Chief. Unfortunately, there's Assistant Fire Chief on the plaque, but it'll make you remember this, Len. But for his service to Peoria Heights, and we can't really go too far on explaining what these gentlemen and ladies do for the village. To technically to put your life on the line every day, the hours that are put in for training, which is constant, and as a volunteer. So Len has been the Deputy Fire Chief from 2001 to 2012, firefighter from 1989 to 2001, and I can personally vouch for Len is a man's man. Let's put it that way. He is steadfast, he's loyal, solid, knowledgeable, helpful. He is one heck of a mechanic. That's why he and Scott Hilliard are probably the last 2 employees of the Journal-Star, is because he is definitely a man you can count on. And I've been proud to know him, call him a friend, very proud to recognize him for his time as Deputy Fire Chief and as a firefighter. He has done an extraordinary job, worked his tail off, and Len, I just want to say from me and from the village, thank you very much. We know you won't be a stranger around here, but we certainly appreciate your years of service, and your shoes will be very, very difficult to fill if they ever can be. So thank you, Len. I'm going to ask Chief Norman Reichert. I've been wanting to say Norman for a long time. Chief Reichert really has been the face and the spirit of the volunteer fire department here. He's been the fire chief from 2001 to the present, was an assistant deputy fire chief from 1996 to 2001, and has been a firefighter from 1985 to 96. So doing some quick math, we're looking at 27 years? Yep. 27 years. And I've known Norm since high school. I believe that his name is still up there in the gymnasium for the shot put record. Will never be beaten. Norm has given unbelievable amount of hours and love to the village. A lifelong village resident, graduate of Peoria Heights High School, obviously, and has been here as a force, a positive force for Peoria Heights for many, many years. Chief, Chief, we really appreciate all that you have done, all the training that you've helped these men and women with. You have set the bar high for the fire department. You have learned, obviously. We had great chiefs before. Bill Bear comes to mind that set the bar high. Norm has maintained that, and it keeps growing as our needs grow in safety and all that is needed technology-wise for the fire department. It will be impossible to replace. Your shoes are way too big to fill. But, Norm, we really appreciate, from the bottom of our hearts, your efforts and your leadership in the progress of Peoria Heights and the volunteer fire department. You've made the village of Peoria Heights a better place to live, and we thank you.
I'd just like to thank the mayor and the board of trustees for allowing me to serve. Also thank Bob Roth and his gentlemen and Dustin Sutton and his officers. Whenever you're backed into a corner, all you got to do is make a phone call, and you get people coming. Those were very kind words, Mark, but it was pretty easy to do. Because we had a good foundation. Bill Bear created the foundation, and all we did was build on it. And I hope, I'm sure, no hope, I know they will, they'll continue to build on that same foundation. We've come a long way since 1985. When I started, I had rubber boots, rubber coat, and a plastic hat. And now we have top-of-the-line gear, anything you could want, and top-of-the-line equipment, and that's all due to the village. So it's been a good time. We won't be strangers. I couldn't have done it without Lenny. There's no way. So we'll be around. If you guys need anything, just let us know. Thanks.
Chief and Deputy Chief, again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. That it's sometimes a thankless job that you almost have to depend upon each other for the camaraderie and the positive feedback. But it's a strong group, it's a unified group, and we look forward to seeing you around here more often than not. Chief Reichert's retirement does not actually take effect until the 19th, I believe, tomorrow. So knowing that the chief was going to be retiring, fire department came forth and took a vote to see who was going to attempt to fill Chief Reichert's boots. We're very fortunate that a gentleman has stepped forth that is certainly qualified, certainly dedicated, has a resume that's virtually impeccable, and that's Mr. Greg Walters, who's been a resident of Peoria Heights for a number of years. I'm going to give you a quick overview of his resume. Served for 4 years in the U.S. Air Force, honorably discharged. Served 18 years in the Illinois Air National Guard. He retired in September of '98. His last rank attained was Master Sergeant. Presently, he's employed part-time as a coordinator for the Fire Science Technology Program and is an adjunct instructor teaching fire science courses at Illinois Central College since 2005. I'm sure you all know also Mr. Walters as the long and productive and admirable career with the Peoria Fire Department. Recently retired, November of 2011. Retired as Assistant Fire Chief. Involved in fire training, fire prevention, fire captain from 1990 to 94, fire engineer from 1988 to 1990, firefighter from 83 to 88. He's also been involved with the Peoria Heights Volunteer Fire Department for a number of years, since actually from 1989, excuse me, and has off and on, more on than off, been involved and spared what time he could with the Peoria Heights Fire Department. So he's a known quantity here. We're extremely fortunate to have Mr. Walters has been voted by the Peoria Heights Fire Department to take on the job, the position of the chief of the fire department on September 20th, on Thursday. So we have this letter from the Peoria Heights Fire Department signed by Captain Eric Swanson that the fire department has voted and approved Assistant Chief Greg Walters to become the chief of Peoria Heights Volunteer Fire Department. And we are now going to ask the board for their recognition and approval of this appointment. So I need a motion for that, please.
I move to approve Greg Walters for Fire Chief.
You have a motion from Trustee Gett.
Second.
Second from Trustee Carter. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board recognition and approval of the vote as submitted by the Peoria Heights Fire Department to name Assistant Fire Chief, Deputy Fire Chief, Greg Walters to be the next Fire Chief of Peoria Heights. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Carter?
Aye.
Trustee Fuller?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Cumming?
Aye.
Okay, thank you by a vote of 5-0. The board has recognized and approved the vote as submitted by the Peoria Heights Fire Department. And as of September 20th, 2012, the next fire chief for the Volunteer Fire Department of Peoria Heights will be Deputy Chief, soon-to-be Chief, Greg Walters. I'm going to ask, do you have a few words? I know you. I think you've got a few words.
For those who don't know me, I have a tendency to talk paint dry, but I won't do that this evening. Thank you very much for the vote of confidence from the board, from the mayor, and most importantly from Chief Reichert and from Chief Chakowski for allowing me to do this. This is their group. This is their men and women that they have trained. I've had the honor to assist them over the years. And as was said earlier, there are some big shoes to fill. It's not big shoes, it's a huge void. We're losing a lot of institutional knowledge with these two guys. And fortunately for me and for the village, they have stepped forward and said, anytime you need, just call. And knowing these two guys, they mean it. So I'm sure I'll be calling them. It's going to be a huge adjustment to get used to this, but I greatly appreciate the vote of confidence from the board, and I look forward to working with the board members and with the mayor, and most importantly, with our firefighters. We've got a wonderful group of young men and women on board. I've had the opportunity in earnest since my retirement from Peoria to spend a lot more time with them and train them, work in training them, and you got some balls of fire here, I'm telling you. So I think we're in good hands. Got a little tweaking to do, but we'll be good. And once again, thank you very much.
Thank you again, and congratulations, Greg, and we look forward to working with you. And again, like you said, we have Chief Reichert and Deputy Chief Jakowski to fall back on in terms of expertise and everything. I know you know just about everything under the sun, but the more information we have for Peoria Heights, the better off we are. So it's great to have you aboard. We really look forward to working with you. Our next order of business tonight is the Treasurer's Report, and that will be read by our Village Clerk, Shauna Musselman.
Okay, this is the Treasurer's Report as submitted by our Village Treasurer, Cliff Brumbaugh, and this represents the bank balances for the month of August 2012. The general fund account is $651,990.01. The motor fuel account is $191,356.23. The police drug savings account is $5,549.94. And the tax increment finance account is $14,770.43 for a grand total in the village accounts of $863,666.61. The waterworks account is $610,000. Man, I cannot do this tonight. I know. It's because I want cake. $610,122.72. The service deposit account is $84,786.17, and the IEPA loan account is $250.11, for a grand total in the waterworks accounts of $695,159.
Okay. Thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments regarding the Treasurer's Report?
Does she want to try and go through it again, or?
I think everyone's eyes are on that cake over there. Real quick before we go towards adjournment, I want to remind everybody that the homecoming parade is on the 29th, starting at 10 o'clock a.m. And the homecoming game, I believe, starts at 1 o'clock. Sounds right, thereabouts. 2? I'll be there at 1, so you can eat a few hot dogs and all that. And also, I want to give please partake in the cake out here in recognition of Chief Reichert and Deputy Chief Jakowski. When I called the bakery and I said, I want a fire engine on there, I want you to understand this is for the fire chief and the deputy chief who are retiring, so I don't want a kid's cake. What did I get? I got a kid's cake. So enjoy the little fake trees and the little fake fireman on there. But please stick around and we'll cut that up, and we've got some bottled water as well, but please stick around and thank Chief Reichert and Deputy Chief Jakowski for all their hard work through the years, and give congratulations to Deputy Chief Walters, soon to be Chief Walters, and we thank you all for coming tonight. The next departmental committee meeting will be held Tuesday, September 25th at